Hey guys, Spiero here. You're watching Buy and Hold Fundamentals. It's Multifamily Sunday, and I got something lined up for you guys. I was doing some sleuthing around during the week, and I ran into this offer for a 12-unit apartment building somewhere in Greenville, South Carolina. But the broker would neither say what the asking price is nor what the cap rate was that he was assuming. So what I'm going to show you now is how you can use the information that you're going to get on the financials, as well as the comps that the broker has decided to put in his offering document, to try and infer the kind of cap rate and value as a result of that he's trying to put into your mind. Forget about whether or not these cap rates or these values are realistic, but that's a starting point to understanding where the broker's mind is at. There is a reason why he doesn't want to tell you what cap rate he's assuming and what kind of value he wants, because he wants to keep you guessing. And he's hoping that he's going to run into people with little to no technical discipline, and maybe he gets lucky and sells this place for way too much money. That's my guess anyway. So how do we get to figuring out what the cap rate would be and what the value as a result of that is if you're not getting any of that information? Well, if you let's start by looking at what cap rate is. So cap rate is the NOI divided by the value of the property. And then you get the cap rate, or you multiply the NOI by the cap rate, and then you get the value, or you divide. I can't remember exactly which way around it is. In any event, we need to look at what information we got here. So we got the gross potential rent, which is the market rent. By the way, it's not the actual rent. The actual rent, actually here it is the same, but that's just because he's showing it that way. But you've got the market rent, and you've got the NOI, and then a bunch of stuff in the middle that, at least for now, doesn't make much of a difference. And if we look at, you can ignore the rent comps at the moment. But if we look at the sales comps, the information you're getting is just the sales price, and then you're getting the maximum potential rent, right? So that's the picture that he's showing you. He's showing, at this price with these rents, compare that to my building. So what is the relationship between gross potential rents and NOI? That's the first thing that we got to figure out. So if you take 124, I'm grabbing a calculator here, 124,000, and you divide that, that's the 124,000 here, the net operating income, and you divide that by the market rent that he's suggesting, which is 163,000, you get 0.76 or 76%. So 76% of the gross potential rent, according to what he's claiming, is going to come out as NOI. So I've prepared this little spreadsheet. So if we put in that rate there, we can now start looking at the other apartments, and we don't want the rent comps, we want the sales comps, and see what that means. So here we have 12,750,000 as a sales price. Is that going to work? Yes. Good. And then the number of units is 55. We stick that in here. Okay. And the average rent is that. Let's see if it now, why is that not working? C4 times D4, okay, times G4 divided by, okay, let's see if we can fix this. Still not working. Let's see if we can get this to work. Okay, we want to do this times this, and then times this. Okay, but that's not enough, and all of that, and I'll explain what I'm doing in a second, all of that we want to divide by this. Come on, divide that by this. And that's not working because that's coming out as, let's see if we delete that and we put it in like this. Does it work then? No, it's still not working. Why not? Let's try and do that manually then, shall we? 55 times 1505 equals 82,775. That's their monthly, okay, times 12, forgot to do that, times 76, divided by 12,750. Okay, that's more like it. Okay, so that's 5.9. Okay, I figure out what I forgot. So you're multiplying the number of units times the average rent to get the monthly rent. Then you multiply that by 12 to get the maximum gross rent. And then you multiply that by the 76% to get what the NOI is that he's suggesting. And then you divide it by the sales price. You get and that's how you get the cap rate that he's trying to suggest. So let's see how another property works out as far as that's concerned. Okay, we go here and we stick in that price, and no, and then where do we want to go? Over here? No, we don't want to go over here either. We want to go over here, and then we want to grab the number of units, and we want to stick that in here. And then we want to go back and grab the price per unit and stick that in here. And now I'm just going to do that manually again. 197 units times 1,501 equals 295,000 and change, times 12 equals 3.5 million and change as their gross annual rent, times 76% equals 2.7 and change, more or less, and we're going to divide, which is their suggested annual NOI, and we're going to divide that by 44,700,000, and that's coming out as a 6. Okay, so let's do one more. Okay, they're asking for almost 30 million. Oh, I'm sorry, they're not asking. These are actual sales. So that's sold at 30 million, and there's 150 units in here. You do realize that, I mean, he's comparing his little 12 unit to these huge multi-unit places. And the reason he's doing that is because he likes the what he gets out of that. So once again, 150 times 130,1381 equals 270,000 a month. We multiply that by 12 to get the annual gross rents, which is 2,485,000, and then we multiply that by the 76% to get the suggested NOI, which comes out as 1,889,000 and change, and then we divide that by the 29,750,000 that this was sold for, and we get a 6.3. Well, it's almost 4. Okay. Anyway, it seems like he's suggesting somewhere between 6 to 6.4. Let's just, for the hell of it, call that 6.1. Okay, so 6.1. If we know if we know that the cap rate's 6.1, that means that if we know the NOI of this place for 2016, which was 124,502, and you apply the cap rate to that. What I've done is taken 100 and divided it by 6.1, and I get 16.4. So I'm multiplying that by the NOI, and he's suggesting 2,040,000 as a sales price. 2,040,000 as a sales price. Okay, very interesting, because if you divide that by 12, he's suggesting 170,000 a unit, which is absolutely bonkers. But that's what the broker wants you to be thinking about when you're making an offer. So if you're going to lowball it and you're going to feel like crap offering him $1.5 million, that's still probably more than what you're going to get for it, what it's really worth. Talking to some of my more experienced multifamily investor friends, their best quick estimate for this is that it's worth about 770,000, which makes that an 11 cap. So big difference here. But I think that was a very interesting exercise. In the end, what that tells you is that you need to be able to come up with your own comps. And I'm nowhere figure out what the cap rate and the value should be by yourself, rather than just allowing a broker to suggest that to you. I don't know how to do that yet, but at least I've figured out what he's trying to telegraph at me, which was interesting in and of itself. So that's it for today. I hope you found that interesting. I enjoy that bit of detective work. I'll be back tomorrow. We're starting to look at Indianapolis, and you can join me looking at 20 properties, single-family buy and hold properties, which I'll analyze every day next week in Indianapolis. If you like what you're seeing here, or any other time during the week, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would mean the world to me. That's it. My name is Spiero. You've been watching Buy and Hold Fundamentals. I'll see you tomorrow.